This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Hello.
Hola!
Bonjour.
Konnichiwa.
Ni hao!
Ciao.
Annyeonghaseyo.
Mabuhay!
Welcome to Washington State.
Explore the sights.
Discover new things.
Appreciate the arts, music, and food.
Travel to new places.
Meet the people.
Make new friends.
In other words, come home with us.
Come home with us.
This is INCRadio Seattle, Washington.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of our listeners all around the world. My name is Brother Joshua Weber from the local congregation of Everett here in the sometimes cloudy, today fairly sunny district of Washington State. Thank you all so much for joining us on this warm, beautiful Saturday. Today we're going to be talking about a little bit more of our summer activities. And of course, we're doing a little bit more exercise, just like the last time I was hosting here. Someone's trying to tell me something, I think. But anyways, we're going to be going into our topic for today. But before we begin, of course, we have to introduce our guest joining us today. So, of course, without further ado, Sister Riza, go ahead and introduce yourself and give any shout outs if you have any at this time.
Hi, my name is Sister Riza Gilmore. I am from the local of Everett. And shout out to the Brethren of Everett and the Pacific Northwest. Thank you for having me.
Of course, Sister Riza, and we're always looking for more guests, and we always love to have you on here as well. Before we begin with our discussion, of course, we have our YouTube question of the day, and that is: have you ever done a marathon? If so, which ones have you done, and how long were they? One more time. Have you ever done a marathon? And if so, which ones have you done and how long were they? We'll go ahead and read a few of those comments in our YouTube chat as we go along here. Now, to begin with our discussion, we are talking about marathons or those that are similar. So, Sister Riza, what is a marathon?
Well, personally, it is one of my goals to do a marathon, and it is actually distance running. And it could start as a 5K, which is about 3 miles, and it could go into 10K, 15K, and then the most or the longest distance is like 24K. And I'm not sure how many miles that would be, but if 5K is about 3 miles, maybe 24 times 3 is, oh no.
I'm not going to do the quick maths. I'm sorry. I don't want to embarrass myself. So there we go. What is your goal, Sister Riza? You said, you wanted to kind of do a marathon. Do you have a specific length that you would aspire to go and run?
Yes. So I've accomplished the 5K. I've done an 8K, and I would like to try a half marathon, but I know that's going to require a lot of training. And but in transition, I have done a 10K doing a Spartan race, which is an obstacle course race. And during that run, there are stations where we do physical challenges. And those are the races I'm really drawn into.
And okay, so the obstacle course racing, and we're not sponsored by Spartan, but how did you get into doing those races?
It began when we were on Guam. My husband had a naval duty station there, and they have what's called the Mariana Trench Race, and it was very similar to it is an obstacle course race. So at that moment in time, I was into fitness. I felt like I was I felt strong. So that year when I found out about the Mariana Trench Race, I wanted to apply and actually test my physical abilities rather than just doing lifting at home and cardio. I wanted to put my physical abilities to the test, and that's when it started. So that was probably like 2019 was when I first started those types of races.
Awesome. I couldn't help but laugh a little bit because I was remembering something from shout out to Brother Lawrence Manalo. He told me a little story about the Marianas Trench. And he told me, he was like, when you're in Guam, the tide goes down so far that you could run to the Marianas Trench. I was like, I'm pretty sure you can't. We looked it up. It turns out they would run down to just a very deep trench, but it was not the Marianas Trench. So shout out once again to Brother Lawrence. Sorry if I laughed a little bit, but that is really cool, Sister Riza.
Thank
So
you.
I know you mentioned kind of like preparing and, you felt, fit. So what kind of training did you kind of undergo or do you go through when you participate or plan to participate in these kind of like races?
For myself, I just was consistent with doing workouts at home. That's where I feel most comfortable doing them. But for anyone who would like to try to do an obstacle course race, it starts at any level of fitness. So it could be what I've signed up for is called an open race, and then of course there's different times. So I usually try to start around 8 o'clock, and my first race was about 5K, and during that race you see all types of fitness levels and all types of ages. So it's really a fun run for anyone who wants to try and challenge themselves. However, there is a type of race for the elite who are very, very competitive, and that's all they train for. But so that's an option too. And I remember when we finally came to the main side, there was a chance to do a Spartan race, and I was thinking, like, if I couldn't complete a challenge, that the participant has to do burpees as a punishment, right? So for example, if someone couldn't finish the monkey bars all the way across and fell, they would do like 25 burpees. And I'm like, oh my, I don't know if I could do that. But I found out that that's an option for the participant. So I always chose open. So I'm not, stressed, and then I could go at my own pace, and you could run with a team, your friend. I usually go with my sister. Shout out to Dendon in Kent. We're buddies. So we're looking forward to doing another Spartan race in the future.
So for those who don't know, maybe myself included, wink, wink. What are burpees, Sister Riza?
I'll do my best to explain them. So it's really, if you're at a stand-up position, okay, and you go slow. So you stand up position, and then you put your hands down on the floor, and then you kick your feet back, and then you kick your feet up again to your hands, and then stand back up. So that's a simple version, but the extreme version is when you go down on the floor, kick your feet back, come back up, and jump as high as you can in the air. And that takes a lot of energy.
Yeah, it seems like it as a form of, almost kind of consolation slash punishment for not completing a part of the course. So I could see why they would implement that.
Yeah.
So another question that I have, Sister Riza, is there like a marathon season or like a time of the year for not even just marathons, but like obstacle course races in general? Are there types or like, pardon me, are there seasons within the year that they kind of reside in, or is it just all year round?
Well, for the ones I've participated in, it's all year round. Only I think because it's really well known. And so they have different races. Like, for example, in the United States, there are many states that participate in it. And it even has like a kid Spartan race too. So I'm trying to get the boys to do one. So, however, when we were back on Guam, Marianas Trench race was just like once a year. But having the ability to participate in a lot of races here in on main side, you could coordinate with your schedule to try and fly out and get into one. Fortunately, here in Washington, it's been in Snohomish County for like 2 years in a row. There's one coming up in September, but unfortunately, it's my boy's birthday, so I would not be participating in that one, I guess. But I will, though. I'll let you know.
I was gonna say, just make them participate as their birthday present.
I thought to do that, but they're not sure. Maybe it's because they don't know what to expect. But
That's true.
hopefully, yeah.
No, go ahead. Hopefully
When they reach like probably 13 is when we could start running together, and probably that will help out a little bit in an obstacle course race. It's tongue twister. OCR.
OCR, obstacle course race. I think it'd be that sounds really fun to kind of go as a family, but I don't think anyone in my family besides maybe one of my cousins would want to go and run in an obstacle course race. But the idea is very fun.
Yes.
We'll instead opt for maybe some other like crash course inflatable thing that's definitely not more exercise and more just accident prone. but definitely it seems like a fun thing to do, and I would love to, just the sound, the idea of being able to go out and run with your family, that just sounds so nice, Sister Riza.
Yes.
So kind of also, I guess now you can give this advice to your sons who are going to be, that you would like to run with you. We could also extend this to anyone else that would like to start participating. What kind of advice or tips would you give for those who are just kind of starting or want to start running in these kind of races?
Well, again, it's all fitness levels. If you do the open run, you could walk the whole way. You could try out all of the challenges. So if there's a challenge where you see that, it would, you wouldn't be able to complete it because of a certain reason, you don't have to. So even just like, let's say, for example, one of my favorite ones are the monkey bars. Yes, I know. And another favorite is, there's one called the dunk, where there is like an inflatable wall, and you would actually have to dip under the water, swim as far as you can, and then come up on the other side. One of that. There's rope climbing. There's wall climbing. It sounds intimidating, but when you see everyone trying, it really empowers you to even try. So that's the best part of the race. Like, oh yeah, when you're racing, there's so many others like behind you, and they're like, you got it, you could do this. One of the races, my sister, she actually sprained her ankle like on the 6th obstacle, and she was such a trooper. We were carrying buckets of rocks, and she just misstepped and just fell, and she didn't want somebody to like drive her into the medic. She just wanted to keep pushing, and she did. And man, kudos to you, sister, but I don't know, if it was me, I think I will, so I could show her that I'm strong too.
But it's, like right after just
Oh, man. I think she even tried to do I think monkey bars, because it wasn't too high off the ground. So she's trying to do the monkey bars, and I'm there like waiting for her to fall. So I think she just slipped, and I tried to catch her. I think we almost fell together.
Oh no.
So just helping each other out. And that race was the first time I actually was able to do the rope climb 15 feet and slap the bell and then climb back down. So that was one of the challenges I've been wanting to accomplish, and I did that, and she was there witnessing. So I was happy that she decided to continue the race with me.
That's very, heartwarming to hear, Sister Riza. Of course, again, going with not only just your family, but also friends, that sense of community in there, and the encouragement from one another. It definitely sounds, even me, I feel a little inspired to try, maybe.
You should try.
We'll see. But thank you again, Sister Risa, for joining us and potentially encouraging me to try, what was it again? Open
obstacle. Open run.
Yes, the open run for
open
the
run. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Make
All
sure
right.
it says open.
Or else I am going to be in a lot of trouble. But thank you again, Sister Risa, for joining us. It was such a fun time to talk about, something that most of us may not even know about. So, thank you once again for not only talking with us about it, but also giving us a little bit of education on it as well.
You're welcome.
All righty. So we're going to go into our next segment, which is our CFO in action. So for our past activities, we had on August 26th here in the local of Everett, we had our EVM or Evangelical Mission. And for our future activities or upcoming activities on August 31st, which is tomorrow, our musical EVM at the Highline Performing Arts Center at 6 p.m. So be sure to be there and make sure you bring guests as well. Also, coming up really soon, right after on this Monday, September 1st, is our Unity Games basketball and volleyball at the Auburn Fieldhouse. For those who are participating in either sport, being basketball or volleyball, be sure to be there by 8 a.m. And for the games that will start, for those who are participating, be there at 8 a.m. and the games will start at 9 a.m. for all those who are wanting to spectate. And now we'll be going into our next segment, the Hidden Treasures. Without further ado, Kuya, if you could play that video for us. Thank you very much, bro.
Near the city of Olympia, the beautiful capital of Washington State, and under the hustle and bustle of Interstate 5, lies the hidden treasure of a park. Welcome to Tumwater Falls, a privately owned park that packs many delightful surprises. Lushly green, there's enough to keep a family and their pets busy for an enjoyable time. Throughout the year, the picnic benches and children's playground are busy with families enjoying the amenities and history of the park. Another huge attraction? The 1 mile loop trail that provides a tranquil beauty with exciting twists and turns, courtesy of the beautiful Deschutes River that flows through the park and ending in an 82-drop waterfall into Capitol Lake. That's just one of the 3 falls in the park. Though not large, the falls produce a lot of social media-worthy pictures. Between the falls, there are salmon ladders, reflective pools, massive rocks gouged by the turbulent river, and footbridges at both ends of the trail to complete the magnificence of the park. A highlight each year in the months of September and October is the return of the salmon. Salmon journeys 3 to 4 years to Alaska and back to spawn at the newly renovated state hatchery. During that time, you can witness salmon swimming upstream, flying over the waterfall, and splashing in the lake. At the lower falls, you might even witness seals and herons waiting for a free meal.
Thanks for walking with us at Tumwater Falls. My name is Jerry Guillermo.
And I'm Blessing Guillermo with INCRadio Seattle.
See you later.
Alrighty, and just like that, our broadcast today is coming to a close, and it's hard to believe that, our time is, just like that, it's already done. But before we go, we have our cliffhanger question for today. I was going to say statement, rather it is a question. And that is, how are you preparing to go back to school? One more time, how are you preparing to go back to school? And remember, that is more than just for our for the children here. It's also for the parents. How are they preparing for their kids to go back to school? Because we're all preparing together. So we'll go ahead and discuss more on that next Saturday. Before we end, we have our ways to tune in. A reminder for those here on our YouTube channel, which is the INCRadio DZEM 954. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon that appears after clicking the subscription button, so that way you could stay up to date with all of our other broadcasts here through the INCRadio DZEM 954 YouTube channel. Outside of our YouTube channel, we also have the INCRadio.org. And with that, we'd like to say our special shout outs and thank yous to Brother Eduardo Manolo, our Executive Minister, Brother Angelo Manolo, our Deputy Executive Minister, Brother Ramil Regino, our District Minister, Brother Relly Rivera, our Assistant District Minister, Brother Chris Valdez, our CFO Overseer, Brother Manley Andaya, our Executive Producer, the listeners, and last but not the least, the INC Radio Tech crew. Thank you all so much, po, for your love and support. None of this would be possible without each and every single one of you. So with that, from INC Radio Seattle, we will see you later.